Hey guys, you're back with Juzzy, and today we're going to do two new installs to the Honda Rebel 500. One is a fairly simple one, which is a cover. As you can see here, it's a genuine Diablo cover for the brake master cylinder. So up here on the right hand side handlebar, just to give it a little bit of dress up, I've just purchased one of these covers which will simply fit on top, and it comes with two screws from KSPEED. So it comes in a little plastic package like that. The cover itself has a removable element with the grey. So if you are wanting to change that colour for some reason, which I don't want to, then yes, you can take that element out and colour it if you've got a particular colour theme going on with your bike. So it doesn't come with any sort of double-sided tape or anything like that. It's not actually just a cover that you stick on top. It is actually a replacement cover. So the factory bottle, I guess you could say, has a Phillips head screw top, and as you can see, it is actually a top cover that you remove. So I'm going to remove those two screws and pop this on, and I'm not quite sure if those two Phillips head screws will work again with this cover, but in either case, if it doesn't look like they're going to, then I might just give these two screws a quick touch up and before I install them. So let's get to removing these with a Phillips head screwdriver. Alright guys, so I have removed the two Phillips head screws from this cover, and on the writing for this cover it says make sure that this area is clean, and that's because when you remove this lid you don't want to have dirt falling into here and then fouling up your front brake system. Pretty important. So the Phillips head screws that come from factory are actually a tiny bit shorter than the two that come in the pack. So out there I have put a piece of cardboard and just painted up those two grey screws that came from factory, and I'm just waiting for that to dry now. So on our way to the bike, let's have a look at just very carefully lifting this up. So there is a rubber washer in here. I'm just going to seat this down so I don't get any oil on my seat. And let's just have a look at what it looks like in here. Cool. So there is a rubber gasket here, and as you can see, the oil is going up there towards the top. I'm going to leave that where it is just there because that's obviously the rubber seal, and I'm simply just going to place this over the top. So that is a perfect fit there. It has gone down and looks like it's going to seat correctly. So in case there are any issues with this not sort of threading enough and grabbing enough meat of this metal, I am actually going to use the replacement screws that come with the Diablo piece. Yeah, real nice touch, that little piece there. And yeah, very obvious that it's there once you've installed it. So let's get those two screws now. They will have dried in the sun, and let's get this installed with the Allen key. So with the assistance of a little 2, I think it is, mil Allen key, I was able to get those two screws which I painted to tighten in just nicely. Now you don't want to over tighten these because A, you don't want to strip the little Allen key holes, and also B, you essentially don't want to stuff the thread. So take your time, go nice and slow. And yeah, I've tightened those two down now to the point where they are firm, but not ridiculously cranked. So looks pretty nice. So that means now that I can move on to the second mod for this video, and that is the KSPEED RB0087 gas tank protector for the Honda Rebel. So again, this is one of the multiple suite of parts I've purchased from KSPEED. It's a genuine item, comes packaged just like this. It actually comes sealed. I've cut it open to inspect it. But for the sort of unboxing video for you guys, let's have a look what's in here. So if you've just watched my video about the engine cover install, you will have seen that I was very impressed with the fit and finish of that part. And yeah, certainly was with that brake reservoir cover. So let's have a look what's inside the tank pad. Now, when I opened this, it was wrapped really nicely. And I've just put it back in and just put it into storage. It was actually in storage for, I don't know, a week or two, and then I was finally able to get a hold of buying this bike. So here's what it looks like. I'll just leave it on this packaging foam. So yeah, it came with no fingerprints over it whatsoever. So it was nice and clean, brand new from KSPEED. As you can see, it is labelled with the Diablo trademark. So super nice. The reason why I like this design is because it really looks like it's got an exoskeleton part here. I really like how that part is raised. When I first was on the hunt for parts for this bike, I had a look at KSPEED's single tank pad cover. So it's essentially just this part, but it's much lower. And they didn't actually have it in stock at the time, but I was so glad that I didn't go through with that and I got this one instead, because to go with the wider version of the engine cover, I think that this really muscles up the appearance of this bike. So this tank pad, let's have a look at the inside. So it comes with the Diablo decal inside, just like the other engine cover, the engine cover did, and it comes with the 3M tape to hold it down. Now it is a 3-piece. The tank cover is comprised of 3 pieces, and all of the bolts, again, just like the engine cover, are centrally located, so it fits perfect. It does come with what I believe must be like an alcohol wipe adhesion promoter. Okay, so that's, I've never actually used that before, but yeah, I will use that on this and the tank cover just prior to peeling this down. And I think I'll be getting out a hairdryer just to heat up this stickiness part as well, just prior to sticking it to this tank. Now I have just wiped down the tank and made sure that there are no oils on it. You can do that by using a product like CarPro Purify and Eraser, but these products aren't 100% necessary, and if you are on a budget, you simply can just use, believe it or not, dishwashing liquid. So this is never going to see the light of day again. It is a matte finish, so it's not the most perfect of materials to bond something to in comparison to a gloss finish with a clear coat. So yeah, I have wiped it down. I won't need to remove any of the decal, and yeah, so it's essentially ready to go. So I believe that to install this, you can't just simply pop it over the tank. But for those of you who are wondering, yep, it definitely cannot. So as you can see, it hits there. So you do have to disassemble it, place it in parts over the tank, and then this middle part would be the last part as it screws down into these two dividing pieces. The tank cover does have two tapes in the middle as well. So let's get this into three pieces. Let's use the adhesion promoter, and I'll get the hairdryer here and we'll get to it. So as I was undoing the screws for the tank cover, I realized that I might be able to simply just undo one row of screws, which will keep the other side intact. So what I did was I kept a note of just what the order was of bolts that were removed from the tank. And this was the order here. So you've got 3 short screws, 3 long ones, and then 1 short screw again. However, one of these was the second one was slightly longer. Not sure if it makes a huge difference or not, but I just want to make sure I put it back the exact way that it was from factory. So now that I have undone all of those pieces, let me just put my foot there. This will now come apart. Great. So as you can see, we should be able to fit this part over the tank. Yep, nice. And yeah, I'll probably put that side down first and then come over and put this one on top. So I guess if I hold this in place, this gives you a good idea of just how raised and wider it makes the tank. Look at that, that's going to be amazing. And yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a hard install at all, but you can see how much it brings the front of the tank. It's not down, so it's not sort of compressed and in place, but you'll get the general idea. So now I'm moving towards the what they call adhesion promoter from 3M. I've got a feeling that this is just an alcohol wipe, so I will use that to wipe down the tank and the inner side of these plastic pieces there, shortly before I use just a household hairdryer to heat up this 3M double-sided tape, and then I'm going to mount this one and then mount that one. So I've just cut open this package, and inside you can see there's like a yellow spongy material here. It's got I think it's got some liquid in it. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it does have a little bit of liquid in it. But I'm going to cut that open now and use one on either side. Okay, so it is actually just one sort of long piece. It's quite damp, so it's got a strong smell to it. It does say the ingredients in it, which I'll show you in a little bit of time. Some parts of this actually have tape in the areas where it doesn't appear that any tape should really go, interestingly. But I'm just going to make sure that I wipe this. As I said, I've already put my products on, but I'll do it finally with what they suggest. This isn't leaving any sort of residue on it, but my fingers feel quite sticky from using it. It's not actually a glue. I'm not exactly sure 100% what it is, but it's drying out quick. So to me it smells like a type of alcohol. I'm sure I saw that on the sides. Yeah, there's like nothing left on it at the moment. All right, so I'm now going to heat up these and do the install. Just a handy tip, if you're wanting to get rid of this red protective tape from the 3M tape, just use a normal tweezer that you've got in your bathroom at home. It just makes for removing the ends of these super easy. So I'm now just going to use the hairdryer with the red part off so I can heat up this tape and get it nice and sticky so that it will adhere to the tank as best as possible. Okay, so I've just simply placed that on and held it there for a couple of minutes. I use this circle as the guide for everything else to fit. Now, with that in place, you can see here just how much it brings. So the tank cover's purpose is to make it look more beefier, so it doesn't obviously sit right flush. There are areas like this part here at the front which are designed to bring the tank forward. It's meant to be like that. So I'm now going to remove the tape from this one, heat it up, and try and line it up as best as I can. So here is the final.
But I don't wanna some kind of butterfly.